Hello there you, my name is Miro and welcome to another unplanned video. I should really stop telling you the full honesty if these videos are planned or not. I mean, sort of planned because I really wanted to do this, but I was hoping to put out something else first, but then I figured it actually doesn't make sense to do that. So what we will do today instead is we have an unboxing. There is an aroid here that I just received. I think I mentioned this in the past that this is something that I wanted as like a hanging aroid. And I also need to repot some of the plants that I already have. You have seen me get this monstera in the trade. I forget the name. I will have to write it down. So I want to repot this one. It started to grow and it needs to get a pole and a bigger pot, or a pot, not a cup, and then I can put it on a stake, which I will show you where I want to put it, or maybe I won't show you because that's part of like the room makeover, which at this point you can see parts of it. This also needs to be repotted, but we're not going to do that today, or maybe we will. Maybe I will feel like really adventurous, but I also wanted to make a separate video repotting my largest aroids, and this is among those. It's like in the top 3. If I'm not forgetting someone. And then what else did I want to do today? Oh yeah, we have to repot quite a lot of gesneriids that I got. I will just go into unboxing this, and as I unbox it, I will start rambling. I need to do a lot of plant chores. I need to do a lot of Hoya chores. I opened my grow tent yesterday. Someone was asking for a cutting of one of my Hoyas, and first of all, it took me so much to get this plant out, and then I realized that like all 3 of my tents are in absolute state of chaos. The plants are growing really nicely, but unfortunately that means also that like 8 plants or 10 are just like wrapped together into one. So I really need to go in there and untangle them. And a lot of them, I think all of the Hoyas need some work in the tents. Either it's a repot, can I not do that with a scalpel? It's a repot, retrellis, or trellising in general. Some need to be cut back, and a couple that I told you, I think in June, that I want to restart. They need to be restarted. I need to deal with this cabinet. They all need some sort of care as well, like, again, repotting, trellising. Same with my Mills bow. It's cuckoo. I don't know, I've been doing so many plant chores, yet somehow more of them piled on. And I always am afraid that if I do too many plant chores away from the camera, that I will run out of content, that you will not get videos. But that simply ain't true, is it? Because someone has a lot of plants. So this is nicely wrapped. I don't know if you can already see what it is. It's something that's actually quite affordable here. I think it's much more affordable than anywhere else. I have seen this plant go for a little bit more money. I paid like mid-double digit for this. I've seen it for lower triple digits in EU. I'm happy that I snatched that. It's from the same lady that I traded for this monstera. And I think I showed you my basie philodendron that I got. I think I'm gonna get rid of that one. It's supposed to be variegated, and it kind of is, but I'm not in love. Now, I know that it can get like a very nice leaf shape, so maybe I will wait for that and then decide, but yeah. Also, you know, sometimes in life you make buns that are not the best, and you just have to accept that. Let's try to get this plant out. Something seems to be holding it, so I probably need to like open the box. This is just the box that I would typically recycle. When I keep boxes for my own plant sales, I keep the real boxes. This is a box that was made, which is fine. It's so challenging to pack aroids. But yeah, what I wanted to ask you is probably for like some medical assistance, because I'm gonna just cut myself with a scalpel. What I wanted to ask you is, how do you think I should move forward with the plant chores? Again, all 3 tents plus both cabinets, everything needs some sort of care. And I was just thinking like, because Hoya of the Week, while I do like it, I don't think it's super popular. It's quite unpopular. I mean, not unpopular. Some of those videos get traction over time. But I was just thinking maybe to replace that with just like Hoya chores once a week. And then on Sundays to do sometimes Hoya chores, sometimes watering, aroid, whatever. But like to reserve Wednesdays for just, you know, sort of going through the tent and, you know, picking maybe 3, 5 plants, whatever, and talking about them in depth. I don't know. Or maybe I should just do all of it and maybe leave that for Sundays. I don't know. I'm not really sure how to proceed with the content because there is, again, so many plant chores. Oh, there is dirt everywhere. There's so many plant chores that I need to do. And the way that I originally envisioned Hoya of the Week was to spotlight a Hoya, but not really to show you just the leaves and the flowers, but also to do some work with it. I uploaded a video on Patreon, which was sort of like a test for myself and to see if people will like it for Hoya of the Week, which was on Hoya undulata. And I think in that video I was repotting her or retrellising her. I don't know, Patreon people will know. I don't even know anymore what I did. I did something with it. Maybe I was like repotting the cuttings. I'm not really sure. Maybe that was it. So we do have soil coming out. And I will most likely immediately repot this because I want it in a hanging planter. If you didn't catch by now, this is a Philodendron radiatum variegated. And quite an interesting thing that this lady told me and showed me on her plant is that variegation is not so intense with the new growth, but it sort of shows more as the leaf ages. So that's nice. We definitely prefer that over plants who have variegated leaves when they come in and then they sort of fade. We don't love that as much. It's fun too, but this is more fun. And then the mix is okay. There is some leca, perlite, I assume peat. So we will definitely put that in my own aroid mix. I don't see plenty of roots, but I'm sure there are some. So we will definitely take a look at that. Oh no, let's not rip the leaves. Okay, I like it. I really like these philodendrons, like or some of the film. I don't even know. Did they switch this back to philodendron? I think they did. Once it was a thamatophyllum, but I think they might have switched it back. With these sort of serrated leaves. Not really serrated, but you know what I mean. Oh my gosh, that variegation is actually so stunning. I like it quite a lot. I actually really like green on green variegation. I think it's one of my favorites. I prefer that to white, and I think even to yellow. It's like, and especially when it's so large, like on this one, this really shows up well. I really like that. This is actually bigger than I expected. Nice. Okay, so this is what he looks like so far. That bottom leaf is not variegated at all, but I do see some variegation on the new leaf. Yeah, I do see some variegation. I don't know, will it show up? This one leaf, yeah, I don't see much, but it should be relatively stable-ish. As stable as variegation goes. I will instantly check also for pests, but I don't see any because I do not have space to isolate it, though I could actually put it outside until the end of summer. They seem to love it. I did bring this one in. Okay, I'm going to show you this philodendron. You haven't seen it, or thamatophyllum. I love that I'm like so all over the place. By the way, this has been the past 3 weeks. I'm just everywhere. On the ceiling, on the floor, in the tent, on the tent, under the bed, over the bed. Like, I'm everywhere. I will finish unboxing that one. I wanted to show you this one. This one grew so nicely. It spent last year in summer kitchen because I didn't have space for it here. And this is a plant from my best friend's grandmother. And she gave it to me years ago. And it was very nice. I think it was like with 3 leaves or something like that, and then it grew really nice, but every winter I put it in the summer kitchen, and that's unheated and there's no light in the summer kitchen. And every year it loses the leaves, and I think we were left with like 2 leaves this winter. And dear Lord, please don't fall on me. And it grew all of this outside. There might be something nasty here. I'm not gonna lie. I just put it in here to see how it will look. Look at that. I'm gonna fall into the cabinet just to show you this, and it will be totally worth it. So he made a great recovery. It's not the biggest, I know. It's not the biggest, but it's one of the bigger. But it definitely is in a dire need of a repot, so I might actually do that. And it's gonna go into this pot. This is nasty, number one, but number two, it's not that big, this pot. I don't know if you can see. Oh, please don't let there be a slug or something. Oh, I hate bugs. So I think this will be a nice pot for it. So we might actually do that today. We'll see how I feel. I would like to do that, but I might still put it out until the end of the summer because this one seems to absolutely adore the heat, the extreme, unnatural heat that we have been having. I also do need to paint my room, parts of it, because you will see mold, and that needs to, I have to fix that. I don't know, like the Epidemicsound is also on there, you will see in the makeover. It's quite a dangerous situation because it's like holding for its dear life on that small table. But anyway, back to this. Is this a liter cup? Because this is not a pot. Are there liter cups? This is not even half a liter. Maybe it's a half a liter? I don't think so. Who drinks that much? Okay, so I don't quite see how these leaves grew, but I think my assumption from what I see here, and I will take it out, but my assumption is that we had this leaf, which is almost fully green, from what I can see, and then we had this variegated one, and then this one, which is quite promising to get this. So it means that kind of the variegation maybe it's not a very stable variegation after all, but I swear I see variegation on this leaf. I don't know how to show this to you on the camera, and it seems to me that it's actually very variegated. So we'll just have to see. Is this not rooted? I was under the impression that it was. Okay, I will actually dump this mix out. Hold on. I need to know if this is rooted or not so I know how to proceed. I will just dump this here. So there is some roots. Not a lot. And some have rotten. So we will put them in a smaller pot in a different mix. I will clean this out so I can see exactly what's going on. I was right, so this is the older leaf and then the newer. Yeah, the mix is too wet, for sure. That would not fly here. But I'm not particularly concerned. I said it before that philodendrons are just really resilient anyway. Actually, it seems that all of the roots that were bad sort of fell away anyway. So that's a decent root system. It's not, you know, I wish more rooted, yeah, but it's fine. So we will move it to my aroid mix. And I think maybe in a hanging pot. I might put it outside. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think I should put him outside? I could, but I will miss him here, as if I don't have any plants inside. Okay, I will take a short break from that to clean this up and to get ready for a repot. I'm also waiting for IKEA. Not coming. I ordered a repotting table, but yeah, I don't know. They're not coming yet. All right, so I had to change the angle a little bit here for the repotting. And essentially we will start first with this variegated radiatum. I'm going to put all of these in a 12 centimeter orchid pot that I did order for my Hoyas. And it would be very convenient if this said what it was in inches, but about 4-inch pot, I think. That's where we are at. Let me do some math for you. Yeah, that's 4.7 inch, so probably 5-inch pot in the States. And I do have these coco coir stakes. I will use that for the other two plants. One of them is this Monstera carsteniana variegated, which I know it's not a lot of fun for a lot of people, but I did really love it. So I had to get one from a friend. She is Plansomia on Instagram, and she also has a YouTube channel, Anna to Cats. It is in Serbian. She also has like a much larger Instagram profile, Anna to Cats. But anyway, this is from her, and I will repot this one to. At first I thought that this pot would be too big, but it's actually not, especially like when we put the stake. And then the other one is this Monstera leclerriana. I looked up the name. Variegated. I do hope that this one is going to give me fenestrations early on, but probably not. It also seems that the first leaf is going to be entirely white, which is just a fantastic start, isn't it? To growing a variegated plant. Gotta love them. I do have my aroid mix here. So this is bark, some lower quality bark, and some higher quality bark, perlite, cocoa peat, and coconut husk. And I will be adding a slow release fertilizer to all of these. This is Osmocote 15 plus 9 plus 12. This is the one that I use. It's maybe not most ideal one, but it is what we have. So anyway, we're just gonna add some potting mix to the bottom, add the plant. I mean, this is super easy because this just rooted. And then I can also decide later if this will need a stake. Probably not. I did look it up, and it seems to me that while sometimes it seems that it can climb, it's not absolutely necessary to have it staked. I do think we will need some support until it grows a bit, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe not. It seems fairly stable. I do not measure out my slow release. I just eyeball it. I've been using it for a while, so I think I can eyeball it. If anything, I think I'm using too little. I don't think I'm using too much. Oh my gosh, that already looks better in a pot. Don't you just love when you repot a plant and you give him like a nice pot and it's instantly like a new plant and you love it even more all of a sudden? Now with this Monstera, this is the same mix, so I will just take the moss off essentially that I put on top and repot the plant. I will open one of the stakes. I did want to give it an actual moss pole, but then I'm really out of moss. Aquagenera is out of moss too, and I can order 100 grams, but that's more expensive. I usually order half a kilo of moss, and that lasts me a while. So, and shipping is expensive to here from Aquagenera because it has to go through like a plant person. Anyways, I'm not to bore you with that. It's just much more convenient to use this, and if it doesn't like it, well, it can not like it. For another reason, because where I intend to put this one, this is gonna work much better than the moss pole because I can't have anything that's constantly wet where I will put this plant. I think I will just do the pole first. And this is going to be super unstable. I mean, you can just see the dimensions there. It doesn't really instill any. Okay, this was actually maybe not the best idea. I'll just place it on my forehead. I'm not joking. It is actually placed on my forehead. I'll take a selfie so you can see. Also, could IKEA just come at this point? Totally. Holding this with my forehead. Okay, let's get this out. Okay. And I will just place it so the growth is essentially leaning onto the pole right away. I think I can just reuse some of this mix, because again, it's the same mix. You know, I think maybe I should have zip tied this to the pot. But I'm also out of zip ties. This is just a video things Miro is out of. I will not use anything to tie this at the moment, but as it starts to grow, I will. So I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. And hopefully this is gonna be fine. This is a little bit fuller than I would like to, but hey. Oh baby, you will look so cute potentially. We'll see about that new leaf. And then let's just do the Monstera very quickly. And then we can move on to other plants, which I may or may not do today because I'm actually way behind with taking Hoya photos. Yeah, this one doesn't have the biggest root system either. I also need to find a spot in my collection to bring in my esqueleto. It's currently being eaten by snails outside, so that's not amazing, I would say. Let's see, I will put this like that. And hopefully this gives me more variegation and leaves remain at least the same size. I saw that many things can happen when it comes to this monstera, and not all of them great. It can revert. The leaves go pretty small. So, yeah, I don't know. I did want to grow it hanging, but as I rearranged my room, I got an idea where I could place it and have it on a stake. So maybe she will like this. I will add a little bit less slow release to this one. This is gonna look so cute if it behaves well. And it's not gonna look cute at all if it doesn't. So this will either be great or not. Okay. These pots are also not gonna last a very long time. Essentially, if this plant, when it reaches the end of the stake, I'm sure that we will need to repot this to a larger pot, which may cause some issues. All right, I think that's it for today for the aroids. Now we have gesneriads and hoyas. For the hoyas, I don't know if I should do that in this video because it's a very specific thing, but I think I'm gonna do it. I essentially hacked a way to put the hoyas on a hoop, but like hang it on a hoop. You will see what I'm talking about, and in a self-watering pot, which I think is kind of genius. I will show you, but I might need to make a separate video about this because people are just not gonna know. They're not gonna know. How would they know? Okay, so back in a moment. I actually need to make some lunch first, and then I can continue with the videos. About that Hoya and gesneriad repot, it does exist, but you will, thankfully, not going to get to see it. You see, I did record everything, and it's like several hours of footage that I was editing up until quite recently, which is also quite concerning how long I was editing that footage. And then I noticed that my shorts got ripped. Yeah, they got ripped. I don't know if I need to tell you anything else. I edited a lot of that footage, like 40 minutes of footage edited, which is like hour and a half at least of recorded. I edited that, and it wasn't until really the very last minute that I noticed that my shorts got ripped somehow. And it would be fine if I was perhaps wearing underwear of color matching the pants, but no, I did contrasting colors. It's very glaringly visible. So you're not gonna get to see that. We are this is not OnlyFans, but yeah, instead of that, I will insert a repot of my Philodendron billietiae that I did a couple of weeks ago, which I never got to edit and post on the channel. So you will see that the background will slightly change, and honestly, like, that's probably the best thing that you can see right now, because the other footage is it's just really concerning that, one, I didn't see it on the computer while I was recording. Two, I didn't see it while I was editing. You almost got that video. I would have shut down the channel. I would shut down the entire operation if I uploaded that and I didn't notice and I saw a comment. It would all be over. I would disappear. You would never hear from me again. So thankfully, thankfully we saved our face. Kind of. I mean, the videos are embarrassing anyway. I will let you now enjoy the billieatie repot. I am really sorry there is no Hoya repot in this video, but hey, there are plenty of other Hoya chores that we will do. So let's go to that philodendron. We are going to repot only one plant, and we are talking about my Philodendron billietiae, which looks very all over the place. It's quite a big plant, and I don't think this is underwatered as much as it's just growing very weirdly. We can see that the stem is crooked. I don't know actually if you can see that. Maybe if I can move it like that, we can see that the stem is crooked, so we will try to give him support and tie these leaves in a way that they are displayed nicely. So that is the plan for this plant, and I think we will most likely have to just tie each leaf to the stake so I can sort of grow him a bit more compact. He's taking a lot of space. He used to be on top of my Mills bowl. And he is nice. I really love this plant, but I'm a little bit frustrated by this growth. It's just very wild. I mean, if I just go back until I fall into my cabinet, you can see that he's just being a bit too much of cuckoo-ness is happening here. This plant I got in the, I think, October of 2021. I actually checked yesterday and I forgot because I was going to tell you the story of this philodendron, but unfortunately no memory. So let's just check that again. October 14th, 2021 is when I ordered this plant and I paid for it back then 45 euros. Today, for 45 euros, you can get a very decently sized Philodendron billietiae. I will show you what this plant looked like. I don't have the photos of it back then, but there is in the email a small photo, very blurry one. It was a one-leaf cutting with new growth, and it was selling Philodendron baby plant, right? Philodendron billietiae baby plant. So this is 3 years worth of growth. I don't know if we have any of the original leaves. Maybe something like this is one of the first leaves that it grew. I got it from Harmony Plants, and it has been a good grower ever since. It is almost as old as my Epidemicsound, which is in the back. You can't see him, but in some of the videos you have. That one is also 3 years old. Now that one has been propagated many, many times, so that's not the original plant. This one has never been cut, never will be cut, never will be sold. I like this plant a lot. I do desire with my heart for a variegated one, but that is very expensive. So this plant is growing really well, as we can see. I'm probably going to mess up something. And some of these roots are dry. He has been underwatered many times. Potentially is underwatered now. But we're going to help him get into a larger pot today. He's been generally a very unproblematic plant, except for the growth structure. My gosh, that's even wilder when I look at the camera. So I'm going to ease him out of the pot. I have a very small moss pole or coco coir pole, which I was thinking about cutting in half because he doesn't really need a big stake. He grows very close. The internodal spaces are very small. At least for me, that's the way it grows. But I decided not to cut the stake because I don't actually know what the reason was, but I just decided not to. So we're currently struggling to get him out of the pot. These two philodendrons, Billietiae and Epidemicsound, that again you don't see, but he's in the back, have been the most gratifying philodendrons to grow. They are just such good growers. Good root system. They're really good growers, very unproblematic, very resilient to underwatering, to drier conditions in the home. I'm just going to get rid of some of these dead roots, but I'm actually not going to do much. Even though technically you are supposed to break apart the root ball, I don't think I will. Even in my old horticultural books, I will get rid of this moss on the top. Even in my old horticultural books, they say that this part that goes in circles, you're supposed to either cut off if you can't untangle it, so the plant can establish again the normal root growth. But we're just not doing that today. This mix is super dry, by the way, so that's happening. And he's going into quite a larger pot. I don't want to repot him again, if at all possible. And I do want to give him a larger pot because I've noticed some of the newer leaves have been smaller. And typically with aroids, I have found that that is the sign that they have just outgrown the pot. They have used up the mix. And you can probably remedy that with adding a bunch of fertilizer or just making sure you stay on top of fertilizing, which I don't. So for me, it's just easier to give him a bigger pot. There's actually not even that much of the mix here, but I am trying to just get everything that wants to sort of be shaken off. I'm allowing that to fall apart with minimal intervention because I'm not about intervening today, says Miro as he continues to poke around the root ball. Quite a good amount of growth, and we can actually see this is probably one of the first leaves. Now I can easily see. And that one is about to leave us, which has been very rare on this plant. I don't think that he has lost maybe 1 or 2 leaves in all these 3 years, and they probably could have stayed on if someone was on top of watering, but again. And then we have a new pot, quite larger. It's not huge. I mean, it's 17 centimeters going to 21. I don't know. I really don't want to repot him. I really hope we can keep it to this one repot. So this is the stake that I will be using. As you can see, it's not very tall. It's only 60 centimeters. If I need it, I can also extend it, but I doubt that that will be necessary. I used to have moss balls, actual moss balls, but we're just over that at this point. So this is the mix that I'm working with, which you can't really see. It has a bunch of perlite. There is cocoa husk, some bark, cocoa coir, again, a ton of perlite. I was thinking about adding some leca too, just to help with the aeration, but yeah, I don't think that is necessary. With some of the larger pots, I sort of had to get the volume up on my mix so they can fill out the pot. So I added a bunch of leca because I have a ton of leca. I have like 4 bags, 50-liter bags of leca because they used to grow in leca exclusively, but I no longer do. So I'm just trying to see how we can position this stake in the best way possible, and I don't think this is the one. Maybe here. Yeah, I think that's a good stake position, even though this new leaf is a little bit too close to the stake, so maybe like that. I think that will work. So I'm just going to fill the rest of the pot with the mix while I sort of hold the plant. Ideally, you would attach the plant at this point, but I don't know why I didn't do that. But you can definitely put like a small Velcro tape at this point to make it easier for yourself. But I don't know, I'm not really about making it easy for me most of the time. Okay, let's just... He doesn't have crazy aerial roots, though I think maybe if I could have gotten this one inside. It wouldn't be the worst case scenario. So let's try to do that. They're not very flexible, the roots on this plant. Oh my gosh. Would you get inside? Thank you. Okay, so we got that root in there. I will actually add some Velcro, which of course I didn't prepare, so give me a moment. I don't really know how I will get these leaves to look normal. I have a couple of different ideas. I'm very happy with the way that my Philodendron plants is growing. That one sort of understood the assignment. Not this one. He really didn't understand the assignment here of compact growth, but maybe after today. It would also be very useful for me to add slow release here, which I will go and get at one point before I fill out the pot, because I'm just not very good with fertilizing my aroids. I'm actually quite bad. I don't fertilize them enough. So I do rely heavily on the slow release to do that work for me. I can't believe that this plant actually grew so much. It's quite amazing. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me now, after all these years, to see how easy these plants are to grow. And back then, when I remember how coveted this was, oh my gosh. They grow like weeds, really. I'm sorry if I'm hitting my microphone, but I can't control this plant, if that's not clear. I will need some tool to sort of poke him a bit. I also have to figure out where I will put this plant. I would like to elevate it. It's not really a floor plant. I will use these to sort of get that mix inside without damaging too many of the roots. Tapping on the pot and just squeezing it a bit also works. Isn't there like a thing that is used in industry, I don't know for what, but it's like a vibrational plate? I feel, can we get a home version of that? Just to shake the mixes into place. I think this is a good time to add slow release. This is Osmocote, which maybe not the most ideal for aroids, and I will lose a bunch of it too, because this is a big pot. There are measurements how much you should use. You will get a nice watering after this. They have been really resilient to underwatering too. Oh my gosh, even the Epidemicsound, if I told you how little I water that one, first of all, you would cancel me. You wouldn't believe me, but most importantly, you would cancel me. If I told you that I watered it like 3 times during the winter, but it's just like they're in a big pot and they're big plants, established, very resilient. If they were outside, obviously I would water them more or not. But because they are inside, I just don't need to water them so much. They seem to be doing well with the current schedule. Okay, wow. That's actually quite nice, except that the stake is crooked. And I expect the stake will keep getting crooked, because that's what the stakes do, not what they're actually supposed to do. So, we have repotted him. Now we have to figure out what to do. So, essentially, I'm going to try to tie these leaves. I have 2 different things. I have this wire that is coated, plant wire, strung with gentle plant-friendly coating, which is rubber. Otherwise, I do have like a rope someplace. This is a bit too thick. I do have a thinner one, but that one is a very rough plastic. I don't think that one would be gentle for the plant. So we'll just try with this. I mean, ideally, he would fix himself, but I don't know. I just gave up on that. He doesn't seem like he wants to. Yeah, something like that. And you know, if he decides to fix himself, hey, maybe we can then remove these. But for now, I will try to get him to look sort of normal with these. The question, the issue, is how do I do this without using a bunch of this wire? Currently, this is not working out. This wire is too soft and the philodendron is untying it. Okay, I'm sort of using it to get 2 of the leaves together. Oof, that looks very nasty from that angle. But maybe it will look better. Let's try Velcro on some of the vines, which we have conveniently lost. Yeah, I'm currently not loving this situation. You know what? Let's just try to use a bunch of Velcro. The leaves on the bottom don't bother me so much. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. But it's these other ones that I would like to tame. Okay, so something that I found working out is attaching the leaves to the bottom of the other. So kind of like attaching the petiole. And then if we can make that work, that would certainly reduce the amount of tape, so it won't look so cuckoo. So I think now, because I actually don't like the wire, let me just exchange that with Velcro. Who's gonna pay for all this Velcro? I mean, if you gave me any babies for sale, we could justify the cost, but you are now not really. Yeah, also one thing about staking aroids, some of them are gonna look weird in the beginning and then it gets better. Sometimes it gets better, not all the time. And the light was above, so I don't really know why he didn't follow the laws of nature and go towards the light. Go towards the light. Maybe for this one I will allow one stake. Do have somewhere orchid stakes, so I will probably change this off camera because this one is really far away, so I don't really want to waste a crazy amount of Velcro for nothing. So we only have one more here to sort out. I'm just looking if there is a way for me to use less tape. I mean, for obvious reasons, the less tape you use, it looks better because it's hidden better, right? Oh my gosh, he's cute. Our pole is giving up a bit, so I think we just need to put a bit more mix. This is what I do. I will just, usually around the pole, really put more mix. I don't tend to, what's the word, compact the mix, but sometimes I will around the pole, especially like when it's close to the pot, because there are no roots there and it will really keep the pole stable. Oh my gosh, I actually do like this. Babes, that's a look. He's pretty and he can fit now better into the plant collection. Oh my gosh, look at him. I will definitely change that. Oh, he's so pretty. I love you. Let's water him, take a short break after this. I have my Hungarian class and then we can choose a different philodendron. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it if you made it to the end. Again, I know that there were no Hoyas in this video and a lot of promises were made in the beginning and they were definitely not delivered on, which is what it is. I think we can all take comfort that that footage of me did not make it to the internet. We can all take comfort in that. Let me know what plant chores you did or any other chores that you did. I do love to read that. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I will see you on Wednesday with Hoya of the Week and then on Sunday with hopefully not ribbed shorts. They were also new. They're like a month and a half old. The quality of fabric these days is awful. I'm complaining about that all the time, but my goodness, that would have been super embarrassing. So it must have been my lucky day. Not to not record that, but not to upload that. So thank you, universe, watching out for me. Anyway, see you next time. Bye-bye. I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 2 anonymous patrons, Anna K, Alex von Siebenthal, Amber Clear, Anne Margaret Moon, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, and C. Aspen Drake, Betsy, Brad Noble, Karen, Candy Tap, Catherine Molina, Christine Claire Cola, Connie Pagano, Daniela Danube Daniels, Daria Kaminska, Deborah Violet, Deli Heridia, Deanne Sikorsky, Dipanjali Rao, Either W, Erin Keenan, Eleni Saxon, Ellen, M. Mortal, Fair
Sarah, Gathering Moss, Gina Geise, Go Green Tropical, Gross It's Kyle, Heather Uppingham, Hoji Scott, Hoya Heather, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chio, Jonas Barry, Hjorth Larson, Jovan Denot, Cara, Catherine P, Casey Gross, Callie Gallagher, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Kiwi Mochi, Christy Ehrlich, Lisa Mary, MPLS, Lori J. Revert, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Maria Stein, Marina Yarmolich, Mars B, Marty Miller, Mary Rose, Melissa Walker, Michael Curley, Michelle Heron, Nicole Ferranti, Mirka Grun Roos, Moa Edmond, Nelly Yang, Niha Basso, Nicole Maroney, Nanguin, Nita Macy,
Odette Brook,
PJ Plant Druid, Rachel Peterson, Sandra Cornelius, Sherry Kumar, Sophia Rian, Stephanie H2O, Tessa Martins, Tia B, TJWO, Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Wendy Rossman, Zenia Green, Youth of the Volumut, Zaira Rivera, Zordarama, and Zlako Niponi. A big thank you to my $3 patrons: Angelina Farnan, Kilone Constance, Daryl De Rosario, Eden C, Jessica Petron, Catherine Parsons, Kens Brown, Elle Lindberg, Lindsay Ann, Mary H, Monica Wykers, Nella, Syke Zera, Renee Church, Ringlov Tang, Watanas Riakul, and Wendy Foreman. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: one anonymous patron, Alice Borland, Brandon Pacheco, Christina Greengrass, Colleen Coyle Levi, Couture Helvetica, Emilia Bronson, Jamie Arsenath, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez,
Lauren M, Lorianne Subramaniam, Luzman Fernandez,
Neely Spicer, Nerdy Kathy, Olivia Chin Mueller, Rebecca C, Sarah, and Tracy the Eyebuller.